What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Backpacking Podcast. As always, John Kelly here with Jeremiah Stringer. And Jeremiah, we're just talking about, we're a little late getting started with this, but we've got a good reason for that. We've got a really good reason for that, Jeremiah. You rescued an elderly woman. Would you like to kind of share what happened today?
Sure. Well, I had a deadline what time I was supposed to show up, and we're going to record this episode. And then I was on my way home, and, I seen this little old lady. I was actually on the phone with Mr. Backpacking with Jason, sir, trying to plan out a future trip. And I said, hold on, man. I think there's a lady over here that's stuck. He's like, what? I was like, hold on, let me turn around. So backed up in the middle of the road, done that 180, went over, pulled into her drive. She was on a lawnmower. She looked like she was about 75, 80 years old, and she was stuck in the ditch. Tires just spinning. So I stopped. It was about a 40, 50-yard walk from her driveway to where she was stuck. And then I said, you know how to put this thing in reverse? It was a Husqvarna, the same lawnmower I have. She was like, no. And I was like, there should be a pedal right here. And I pointed. I said, you step on that. You ready? She said, yep. I got behind the lawnmower, grabbed both hands on, and just pulled it backward, riding lawnmower tractor style. And I backed her up a few feet. She had enough room. And then she took off, and I gave her the thumbs up. She's like, thank you. And then I, in a half jog, ran back to my truck. Then I got in the truck, shut the door, put my seatbelt on, put it in gear, looked, and she was stuck again. Same ditch, same spot. Seen her. She was rocking back and forth. She was just rocking. And actually, my wife and I don't know if this is a thing everywhere, but here in Kentucky, yard selling is a pretty big deal. Mm-hmm. Have you ever been yard selling before?
I don't particularly enjoy it, so no, I don't go, but I know of yard sailing. I've had yard sales, but I don't like to go to them.
So I'm sure everybody's heard of it. Just in case you haven't, you basically take stuff that you don't want or need anymore, and you sell it to whoever drives by. And I had been to their house before. I don't know the lady or the guy, but I know her husband's very elderly too, and I didn't see him out there. And I think we bought a stool and a table from them. So I remember meeting the lady, and I was like, well, her husband, he's not going to be able to help her. Here she is stuck again. I'm already in the truck. Put it back in the park, jog the 50 yards back over, and do the exact same thing. She's so embarrassed, dude.
Oh,
she was like,
poor lady.
Oh, my gosh. She didn't know what to do, but yeah, we helped her out. That's a heavy lawnmower, man. Husqvarna. Yeah, it's got the 48-inch cut, the 24V48.
I've got a Husqvarna push mower.
They make good stuff.
Yeah, they make great mowers. Okay, so with that said, Jeremiah, this is why you are a better person than I am. I mean, not that I wouldn't have done the same thing, but it's just you. This is just very normal Jeremiah type of things. Jeremiah sees someone in need and he helps them.
Well, thank you, man. I wouldn't have said anything on the air about it if you hadn't.
I know you're too humble for that, but I like to get the brags out there for you. So
yeah.
Well, man, today is kind of a free day, and we don't do these often anymore, but just a free day to talk about pretty much anything we want to. And one of the things I kind of want to talk about today, if it's okay with you, what are some of the weirdest things that you take backpacking with you?
Oh, now that's a good question.
So what are some things that you take on a backpacking trail that maybe most people wouldn't consider backpacking gear, or it's just really different backpacking gear?
Well, there's two things that come to mind really quickly, and I'm sure there's going to be several more as we explore this topic, but probably my number one is the bidet. Anytime that you say bidet, people have it in their mind like, the specialized toilet that sprays the water at your bum and it washes it off. But we've talked about bidets on here a lot, and if people are regular viewers or listeners, they know that I use a pocket bidet. So you basically just stick it in the top of your water bottle, the one that you drink from, or you can bring an alternate water bottle if you're a little more sanitary than me. And that right there will wash your bum. the other thing, I get chastised for this from Mr. Backpacking with Jason, sir. He thinks it's stupid. It's my umbrella.
Oh, I take an umbrella. Yeah, I take an umbrella when I go backpacking.
Yes, especially if it's gonna rain. I was gonna take it to Grayson Highlands with me,
Yeah.
and I put out the trip video, so if anybody wants to go watch it, it's published now, and dude, I weighed my backpack for that Grayson Highlands trip, and it said 40 pounds, 4 ounces or something like that, and I said,
40 pounds?
40 pound. I think I put a picture on my Instagram. I think it's 40 pounds, 3 ounces.
Wow, that's not light, man.
No, I had all kinds of stuff in there, but long story short, as soon as I seen that 40 pounds, yep, I got it. 40 pounds, 3 ounces. There it is. I pulled it up on my Instagram. So as soon as I seen 40 pounds, 3 ounces, I said, something's got to go. And even though I knew we were going to get rain, what do you think the first thing to go was?
The umbrella.
Umbrella. Threw that thing directly on the floor.
Honestly, man, with the wind being what it was while you were there, it would have destroyed that umbrella.
Yeah, they're not good in the wind. And one bad thing is like if it's tight quarters, like you're in the green tunnel, you got roadies grabbing at your umbrella, it's just
Yeah.
straight up not gonna work.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So I figured I'm taking the rain jacket anyway. I'll tell you another thing, underrated, Crocs.
Yeah. For trip
That was
for camp shoes.
yes, but
Yeah.
that was another thing. My Crocs are size 15, so those suckers weigh over a pound, together. They're
Wow.
probably like, I don't know, maybe 18, 20 ounces, something like that, maybe
Yeah.
more. So that was the next thing that come off the backpack at 40 pounds. I said, no umbrella, no Crocs. Didn't take
Well,
much convincing.
you want to hear something I've started bringing with me, and it's weird, and you're
Yeah,
probably gonna you're really gonna be like, what?
what do you bring?
A little
What is
pencil
it?
sharpener.
Oh, what do you use that pencil sharpener for?
So when you want to start a fire, one of the best ways to start a fire is to like have little bits of kindling that you can use. And this
Mm,
thing weighs less than an ounce. And you can just take sticks and stuff, and just like you'd sharpen a pencil, you
uh-huh.
just take sticks and shove them in there and twist them up, and it makes it into this fine little like wood powder that catches on fire in a heartbeat, and works really well for getting fire started. Um, I saw this actually on a TikTok video. Some dude who's talking about stuff you never knew you needed on the trail.
Uh-huh.
And he showed that, and my eyes turned into saucers. I was like, that's brilliant. Because how many times have you been out backpacking and just getting the fire started? Once it got started, you're good, but like getting that initial fire started can be really annoying. And a lot
Mhm.
of times, little twigs and stuff, they'll get wet, and there's no way you're going to get them started. But if you can grind those things up really good, you'll get all the dry wood out from the inside, and it'll light right up. And
Yeah,
so,
one thing I love about that idea is it is a reusable resource.
yep,
Like, my first thought whenever I hear take a pencil sharpener as, like, my fire starter kit, I think, well, that's definitely a luxury item because it's something you don't have to have, but it makes your life easier. But I usually bring those little fire starter cubes,
yeah,
but the contrarian in me says, "What if you run out of those?
right.
Or what if you forget them?"
Well, and something else with this, let me see if I can open it up real quick for you. I probably won't be there you go. You can take the back off, and you could put like cotton or anything you want inside of the uh the pencil sharpener, and store some things inside the pencil sharpener to help you light fires as well, and pull it out and only use it when needed. So it can act as a little storage unit too for like some little fire starting stuff.
Now, have you Graham weenied your way into weighing that thing?
Yeah, that's less than an ounce.
Oh,
I think
light work,
it's like
man.
point 0.85 ounces or something like that.
That could be lighter than the fire starter cubes. I don't know.
Exactly, exactly. So it's like it's a great, I mean, it's super easy, and I mean, not that it matters, but you've got two different sizes of holes on the inside. So I mean, the bigger the twig, the smaller the twig. You've got, it's just easier to use. But I mean, I like I said, I saw this on a TikTok video, and I was like, "Oh, this is brilliant!" And so I brought it on my last trip, and sure enough, man, it was so easy. Just grind that wood up, and you're ready to go. And you can do
Do
so
you
much of it. That's the thing. You can do a huge pile of it in like a couple minutes, you know?
so you take the pencil sharpener out of the casing, right? And then you just make you a big pile of shavings.
Well, I keep the bottom on it, shave it up, and then I just kind of pour it out into place, then put it back on, grab some more sticks, start going.
But could you also take the bottom off so that you can make a big pile and not have to keep dumping it?
You can, but what I found is when you do that, it just kind of goes everywhere. I found it was actually, it took a little bit more time, but it was a little easier to keep it all together and then just kind of dump it in a pile. Because when I
Mhm.
left it open, it just kind of like, if it was blowing wind or anything like that, as you're doing it, it's just kind of going everywhere. So,
Did I tell you about, that time we had the, polar vortex that came through
yeah.
and my buddy Brandon brought his own firewood in?
Yeah.
Man, we coulda really used that pencil sharpener on that trip.
I'll bet. I'll bet. Well, like I said, it's just a really unique idea, and it works well, man. It does a good job. I mean, it's a simple idea. It's super. I mean, it is really lightweight. I mean, probably your ultralighters could care less. They're not going to bring that with them. But
Yeah.
I'll carry less than an ounce to make starting fires easier.
Dude, one thing that's really underrated that I discovered on the long trail, this is a weird item, is Nurse Ratchet, she carried paper towels. And I was like, "Why are you carrying these paper towels? Like, we're on the long trail. I can use my buff as like everything. Why would I worry about keeping these paper towels?" She says, "This is part of my blister kit." And I was like, "What? What do you need paper towels for the
Blister
blister?"
kit.
Uh-huh. And she's like, "Well, you get a blister, I'll show you." Well, sure enough, you better believe we all got the opportunity for her to break out and nurse us back to health with her blister kit.
Yeah.
So here's what she does. You clean, like you pop the blister,
Mm-hmm.
clean the area, and then she does like a lot of home remedy stuff. She's more like hippy dippy kind of deal and
All about it.
makes her own ointments and that kind of stuff. So she had made this little ointment and ordered these little silver tins to store it in. And she put some of that on me. She cleaned it up, put it on the blister, and then you take a piece of paper towel, or you can use tissue paper, and you stick it on the blister. So blister, ointment, paper towel, and that paper towel, it's a little bit more resilient, if you will, than like a piece of toilet paper or tissue paper. It holds together better,
Right. Right.
and then you tape it up with Leuko tape, and you're good to go.
That's interesting.
The paper towel. But my question is, how long is too long to leave on the Leuko tape if you get blisters on trail? You're supposed to change them every day? Do you leave it on for a week? Do you wait until you shower? Do you wear it?
I think a lot of it depends on how wet your feet get, because that's where bacteria and stuff can get in there and infect it. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
with blisters, especially if you pop it. Well, now that you've popped it, bacteria can get into where the blister was. And so I think when your feet get really wet, if you're walking through a lot of water and stuff, the Leuko tape, while it'll keep the blister protected, like physically, it's not going to keep bacteria and stuff from getting in there from different water sources and stuff.
It'll
So
stay wet.
I would say at the end of each day, if you're doing a lot of water crossing, you probably want to change it each day to avoid infection. But that's just me.
Yeah, I'm with you there, dude. And have you ever gotten a blister and you didn't pop it, and then like days later it all peels off?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
yeah,
so disgusting. I was
it's
playing
brutal.
basketball a few weeks ago, and it's so hard to find shoes, dude. Like, I've been looking on eBay and
Because you got small feet.
yeah, these little feet. So, basketball shoes, they're actually not too bad because, the average basketball player professionally is very tall, and they all put out their own line of shoes,
Is
whether
it
it's
weird to
Kevin
think that you would be a short NBA player?
I'd be average point guard, man, at 6'3", average point guard. Isn't that insane?
You'd just be a short dude. Like Michael Jordan was 6'6" and he wasn't very tall.
6'6" with a 45-inch vertical, 48-inch vertical.
6'6", 220.
Unreal. I'm
Yep.
6'3", 220.
And he was all muscle. There was
All
there
mu
was not an ounce of fat on that man.
Yeah, mine's all flab.
What
He
was
would dunk
LeBron's
all.
what, like 6'9", 270?
No, I don't think he's 270.
260? He's 260 or 270.
I'm gonna say 245. You wanna give it a
Oh,
go?
I'll look it up. I'm gonna guarantee he's bigger than that because he's the size of an NFL tight end.
He'd make a good tight end. He played high school football. You ever watch his
Yeah,
highlights?
Yeah, he's very good.
He's a beast, man. A lot of those athletes, though, they could play NFL. If they're a basketball player, they could play NFL.
Absolutely, they could.
Did you find it?
I'm getting to it right now.
LeBron James.
Right in between us. I said 260, 270. You said
Uh,
240, 250.
I said 245, I think.
Okay, then you got me by 5 pounds.
That's okay, man. We all win here in the
But
game of
he's 250 pounds at
pure muscle,
6'9". That's a huge man.
dude. Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant's like 7 foot tall.
It's
I'm not sure what his
insane.
weight is. He's thin. But my point is that like it's easy to find basketball shoes, but for some reason all those guys' feet are really skinny. You looking up KD?
No, I'm actually looking up somebody completely different.
Okay. So I bought some Damian Lillard basketball shoes, but every time I wear them, because I guess his feet are skinny
Yeah.
and my feet are wide, every time I wear them, I have to take Leuko tape. I'll put a Band-Aid on my pinky toes and I'll tape up my pinky toes on top of the Band-Aid with Leuko tape. And I'd actually suggest anybody that is hiking and you start getting hot spots. Like I just straight up played basketball for like 2 hours in those shoes and it obliterated my toes. Just 8 blisters, 2 layers deep on both sides. Well, on my left pinky
That's
toe, it
brutal.
wasn't quite as bad, and so I didn't really see a blister to pop, but on the right side, I had to full on pop the blister, and then you get in the shower, and you're like, you know, your toes are on fire,
Yeah.
and the left side, I just didn't think a whole lot about it, and then, dude, 2 or 3 days later, I thought half of my toe was peeling off. You get
Ugh.
those big old blisters.
Yep.
Oh,
Well,
so
hey,
disgusting.
I got another item that kind of goes with your paper towel that you were talking
Alright,
about that people bring
hit
on
me with
trail.
it.
It's this little thing right here. It looks like a horse pill.
Yeah, it's hard to
These
see.
are these are called Wissy wipes, and they're
Whiskey
compressible
well?
towels. They're compressible towels. You just put a few drops of water on these, and they expand out to these really durable wet wipes.
How
And
do you
I've
spell that?
I've been using these on trail for like 3 years now, and they're awesome. They're absolutely awesome. You can use them like at the end of the day to clean up, like if you got a lot of mud on your legs and stuff like that, and you don't want to get it in your sleeping bag or your quilt. Use them when you go to the bathroom and you do the deuce. They're fantastic, and dude, you can get like a bag of these things for real inexpensive. But the thing I like about them is because they're so compressed and there's no water in them, they
Uh-huh.
weigh less than wet wipes. And it just takes a small amount of water to get one hydrated and ready to go.
I've used compressible towels, but I never have used that particular brand. How do you spell Wissy?
WYSI.
WYSI. Well, if anybody wants to buy them, there you go.
And they sell them on
WY.
Garage Grown Gear. So if you want to find them there, it's a great place to look for them. But the Wissy wipes, what happened for me was I was on Backpacking Gear Flea Market on Facebook, which if you're a backpacker and you don't know about Backpacking Gear Flea Market, if you're looking for used secondhand gear, blemished gear, overstock gear, there's people selling that stuff on there all the time, and the prices are actually pretty good on a lot of it. But one of the guys was selling bags of like 50 to 100 of these things for like $10. And
Wow.
I was like, well, I'll check them out. Sounds like something interesting. And ever since I've done that, dude, I've been using them ever since, and they're fantastic. I've used them on pretty much every trip since 2019.
I like the dude wipes, but it's heavier, but it's
Yeah.
also disposable. But I guess you can kind of throw those things away after you use them too.
It says on their website and on their packaging they're biodegradable. So,
You can bury them if you
you should
wanted.
be able to bury them. Yeah. You should be able to bury them, or if you're someone just doesn't like doing that, you don't have to. You can put them in the campfire for all it matters.
Send it to
So,
the atmosphere.
that's right. That's right. But yeah,
Not
they're fantastic. Of course, after you use them for certain things, you may not make everybody pleasant by burning those, but
some
to each their own.
some people burn their toilet paper. Some people carry out their toilet paper, and some people bury their toilet paper.
Yep.
And I bury mine.
Yep. I do too.
I,
Unless I'm told I can't.
oh, you're talking about out in the desert?
Yeah, if I'm in a place where they say you can't do it, I won't do it. I'll be good.
Mm,
Yep, I'll be
smart
good. I don't want to get in trouble. Plus, we're on thousands of people listen to these things every week. I don't really want thousands of people to get the opinion that we should go out and just ignore the rules. So I'll be the
Possibly
good
hundreds
guy.
of people. Who knows?
Possibly. Oh, we know there's a lot of them. We know there's a lot of them. So what's another item that you could think of that's just kind of weird that you take
I'll
or
tell
other
you
people
one.
take out?
I'll tell you one that I think's totally original.
Yeah?
3D printed. Have you ever taken anything 3D printed out on the trail with you?
I haven't, but I know people that have.
Okay. Well, 3D printing is now, I mean, that's huge, dude. Like,
Yeah.
there's services that you can go online and have people to 3D print stuff for you.
Mhm.
So I remember Pika Outdoors. I think it's Pika.
Yeah, they make really good soap.
Yeah, they made some not biodegradable soap. I'm sure it is, but it's powdered soap.
Yeah.
And it's made for the outdoors. And I take that, and whenever I was talking to the guy, he's like, "Hey, I have these a couple of 3D print ideas, and I would like to send them to you with the soap." And he's like, I don't. If I remember correctly, this is a few years ago. He's like, "I don't really sell them, but I'm wanting to get some feedback." And he sent them to me, and I was like, "Dude, this is really cool. Can you send me the files because I wanted to mod them?" So he sent
Yeah.
me two different things. One was a dental flosser. So, do you floss your teeth
Not when I'm backpacking.
ever?
No, I mean when I'm home I do. I don't when I'm backpacking.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, some not to call you out, some people never floss their teeth ever,
Yeah.
which I would advocate for flossing your teeth, but that's just me. So, instead of
Do you
bringing
use actual floss or you use the floss sticks?
well, I like both. For years, I'll tell you, let me give you a little backstory, okay? Give you a little backstory.
I love when it starts like that. Go ahead.
Do we have time for this? I don't have a clock running. I don't know how long we've been going.
We got a little bit of time here. Let's hear what you got.
So I don't like needles. And as a kid, I guess I was traumatized by the shots that I was forced to take at the health department to attend public school.
Mhm.
And that, I guess, kind of scarred me. And then whenever I go to the dentist and they're like, we're going to take this shot and put it in your mouth, I was like, no. So for the, like, all throughout high school and college, I was like, no needles, especially none in my mouth. And I think I've conquered that fear now. I was kind of forced to because you got to take a,
Well, dental work is miserable if you don't get those shots.
there's more, dude. There's more. I took the TB skin test. You have to take it through the health department if you're going to teach. Like to go into the schools,
Mhm.
they have to make sure you don't have tuberculosis.
That's a good
So
call.
that was like my reintroduction to shots since I'd been in high school, and that was like my sophomore junior year of college, and I was still like, shot, right? So
Is that really how you were in college? Did you really make that noise? Because if you did, that's pretty fantastic.
I'm 21 years old, scared of needles. Well, I graduate college and get a big boy job, right? And I actually have dental insurance. So
Nice.
I go to the dentist and get my teeth cleaned, and they were like, "How often are you flossing?" And I'm like, pretty much never." And they were like, "Well, you have 12 cavities." And I was like, 12 cavities? And they're like, "Yeah." And I was like, "What does this mean?" They're like, "It means you're going to have to come back next week and get a bunch of fillings." And I was like, "Okay." And is there going to be a needle involved? Because I was scared of the numbing, right? And they're like, well, we can try filling them without numbing you. And sure enough, dude, I went all 12 fillings deep, no numbing, no needles in the mouth. So I guess none of them were quite deep enough that
Yeah.
you're having to drill into the nerves or get that close, I
Yeah.
guess.
So what about that smell though? When you smell your teeth grinding, like that like almost
Oh,
burning smell? You know what I'm talking about?
pair that with the parts that they're grinding off that's rotten from the cavity. Oh,
Yeah. Can I
dude.
tell you? Let me tell you about. I went to the dentist when I was in third grade
Uh-huh.
because I had my baby teeth hadn't fallen out, but the adult tooth was coming in behind it anyways.
Uh-huh.
So I had like two teeth in the same place. And so I had to go in so they could remove the one tooth so that the other one could grow in. And I didn't go back to the dentist until that was in 1984, 83, something like that. I was like a little kid up in New York. And I didn't go back to the dentist until 2016,
This is how I started.
2016.
Once you
And so
said,
I go in and I always brush my teeth. I always take care of my teeth.
sure.
But I went in to the dentist and he goes, "Now, when was the last time you were at the dentist?" I said, "When I was in 3rd grade." He goes, "How old are you?" I'm like, 42. he's like, he's like,
Gosh.
"What?" And you know how many cavities I had? Just take a wild guess.
I'm going to say 3 cavities.
I had 4.
4? Ooh, I almost nailed it, bro. That
4
was close.
cavities in like 40 years.
And where were the cavities at? Those your molars?
Actually, 2 of them were in the backs of my front 2 teeth up here at the top.
I had the same thing, dude.
Yeah, 2 were there, and I had 1 in a molar here, and I had another molar, I think, that had 1 in it or something. But that was it. I mean, I only had to fill total of 4. There was only 4 cavities, and but the reason I went in was because I have something they call exploding molars, and people who know.
Oof.
Basically, your molars kind of grow, and as they grow, they kind of flower out and just fall apart as they grow out, and it's painful and horrible. And so I was getting all my wisdom teeth pulled out was the reason I went in, and which oddly enough, man, like this doctor, I think he practices the mystical arts because he numbed my teeth and everything. Then he put in the shot. I never felt one of those teeth come out. And I felt very little pain the next few days as it healed up.
Did he give you the laughing gas?
No, there's no gas involved.
Missed out on the laughing gas, huh? You'll have to
Yeah.
revisit.
He was probably like, "This guy's too loopy to begin with. The last thing we need to do is make it worse."
Loop him up.
So, but yeah, so after 40 plus years, I didn't have any, but like 4 cavities.
You got your
So
wisdom teeth taken out in your 40s?
yeah,
Wow, because of the exploding molars.
yeah,
Wow.
it's
I
really
didn't even
weird.
realize. Yeah, dude, my dentist, I'll just keep it real with you, dude. My dentist, we won't use any names on
Ladies and
here.
gentlemen, we're gonna keep it real.
Keep it real. I'd never lie to you all. So when I moved back from college to where I live now, I had a duplex. Like I rented one side and I had a neighbor on the other side of my living room wall. And that neighbor was a dentist. He's also a big UK fan. So of course we became friends.
Of course.
And he had an office that he practiced at here. And I started using him as my dentist because my big boy job had that dental plan and it was covered at his office.
Right.
Well, he decided to go, and good for him. He decided to go instead of practice dental medicine here. He became a professor at UK School of Dental or
Oh,
whatever.
really?
Yeah, whatever their school is called.
Yeah.
School of Dental Medicine or something. I don't know. And that that means that I had to find a new dentist. Okay.
Not
And
fun.
no, nobody, no offense, dentist, if there's any dentists listening, just most people don't like to go. And I'm sure you know, and we all know that going to the dentist isn't the most fun thing. Kind of dread it. So
I don't like
finding,
people putting things in my mouth.
yeah, I should
Not a
be,
fan.
no. So I had to find a new dentist and you start asking around, who do you go? Who do you go to? Well, Bridget, my wife, I don't know if she's got like brittle teeth or something, but she keeps having fillings to come out and stuff. She'll be eating like a blow pop or something, and then that chewing gum will pull a filling out, or
Oh, wow.
whatever. So I started calling every office in town, like on a Friday afternoon at 3 p.m. because everybody's going to be closed. And there was one dentist that was open on Saturday, and they took our insurance, and he became her dentist. And then I was like, well, He's Bridget's dentist. He might as well be my dentist. We'll keep it in the family here.
Family
And so
dentistry.
we went to him as our dentist. So I've been to him 2 or 3 times. This guy, he's old. I don't know how old, maybe like 68, 72. I mean, he's an old guy. He looks like he's been practicing dentistry for a while. And I kind of feel like he's bullying me a little bit, if I'm being honest. I told you I'm not totally over the needle thing. I still don't
Right.
look whenever they put the needle in my arm if I donate blood. But this guy, he's kind of giving me no options. I've been avoiding getting my wisdom teeth taken out my whole life. My whole life. I remember when I was in high school, I started dating Bridget, and she got her wisdom teeth cut out. And
Right.
she wouldn't let me see her because her teeth, I mean, her jaws were all ballooned up and she was embarrassed. So I called her and talked to her on the phone, and, they give you medicine and stuff, but it's like a dental surgery. Well, my dentist, now, I've been putting it off and putting it off. And I talked to my initial dentist that moved away and went to UK. I was like, hey man, if I wanted to get adult braces, like what would I have to do? He's like, well, first thing you're going to have to get those wisdom teeth cut out. And I was like, okay. And he gave me a referral to a different, like an oral surgeon or whatever. Well, oh, homeboy, now my current dentist, he doesn't even give me the option. He's like, you still got your wisdom teeth in here. And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, we need to get those out. And I was like, what? And he's like, yep, we're going to have to take those out this summer. And I was like, I mean, I don't even
Are
really
they
know
hurting you?
he said that, like, when you look on the x-rays, he said there's there's two problems. One is they're hard to keep clean. So they're really prone to getting cavities because they're in the
Right.
back of the mouth, and all 4 of my wisdom teeth are exposed. So they're through the gum line.
Right.
So it's hard to floss around there. It's in the back of your mouth, and it's hard to brush your teeth because there's no space back there to brush your wisdom teeth.
Right.
So the other problem is he's like, these are hooked on your molars on the bottoms. And he's like, we're not just going to take out one wisdom tooth. If we're going to take one out, we're going to take them all out at once. And I was like, okay. And I was like, well, who do I go to see that? And he's like, you're going to see me. And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, well, when you get back from your trip from Spain, you need to schedule a dental visit, and we're going to take those out in July. So I kind of feel like he's twisting my arm here. And as a grown man, he's forcing me to get my wisdom teeth taken out.
You can say no.
I just he's my elder. He's 80 years old. He seems to know what he's doing.
He also
And
knows he can make a lot of money off taking those teeth out. You know that, right?
well, he's making money. I'm not paying anything. I'm already paying for the dental insurance.
Your insurance is going to pay 100% of getting your wisdom teeth pulled out.
I might have to use some of my flex card.
I was
We
going to
get
say
that.
you're going to have to use money. I don't think you're going to get that 100%.
Well,
Especially if there's not an actual problem with them.
he said that he doesn't. He said we're not putting you to sleep because I thought they would put me.
I wasn't put
fully
to sleep when they did mine.
I thought I'd wake up and I'd be done.
No, they pulled mine right out. Like you don't even feel a little bit of pressure, but you don't feel anything. Like if they do it right, they numb your gums, then they put the shot in. You don't even feel the shot because your gums are so numb from the stuff they put in your mouth. And then they give you a few minutes, and all of a sudden you can't feel anything in your mouth, your jaw, whatever. They pull those things out, man. It's gone so fast. The only thing you notice is you've got to shove stuff back in there to keep it from bleeding. But that's it. It's pretty quick.
I don't like the sound of this, man.
Well, then tell them no. You're a grown man.
I don't think I can.
You have a national podcast.
That's a qualifier for saying no.
That right there says I am a regionally popular celebrity, and I need to not do this right now. So,
well, here was what I envisioned. I envisioned going to sleep. They're going to take some knives and slice or dice her right in the back of my mouth, and they're going to cut those suckers out. But he's like, nope, we're just going to pull them out.
Yep, that's all they do is they pull them.
And I was like, what? He's like, yep, we'll numb you up, and then we'll pull them out. You'll be good to go.
Yeah, dude, that's how it works. That's how mine were done.
Well, maybe I'm just too scared for nothing. I'm a big wimp.
Well, here's the thing. You are a grown man, and you can make your own decisions. And this guy, you don't have to do it if you don't want to.
Yeah.
He doesn't own you.
Yeah, that's right.
He doesn't own you.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh,
dude, hike your own hike, teeth your own teeth, man.
that's right.
Why are we
That's right.
talking about this anyways? This has nothing to do with backpacking.
God, because it's
It's
funny.
like we were talking about you. Okay, let's get back to 3D printed floss things.
Yeah.
Somehow this story happened, and we never got back to that story. So let's finish that story.
Okay. I was circling back to it. Don't worry. And I also want to say real quick, one other thing that helped get me over my needle, being afraid of needles. In college, I was so poor and broke, donating plasma. I
Yeah,
did it twice a week, and I was making like 50, $60 a week just doing that.
isn't it
And
insane how much you can make more than that now?
oh yeah, dude, you can make 100, $200 a week for the first month.
It's insane.
It's crazy. But anyway, yeah, I'm a little less scared of needles now, so it's not that big of a deal. But on the flossing, I floss every single day. And I feel like it's so hard to take care of your teeth on trail. Like you'll
Mhm.
catch yourself, you'll be like, well, I'm just gonna go on to bed. And then the next morning you wake up and you're trying to pack up and get out, and you're like, I'll just brush them whenever I get back to the car. So it's easy to skip. So I try to be very mindful of that whenever I'm on trail. So this 3D printed situation, one thing I brought was like a knife holder that it holds a razor blade and you can flip it around. It's 3D printed and that's your little knife. But the other thing is just a little flosser. So if you bring like the full spool of floss, like some people like to use that so they can sew with it if they have to.
Yeah.
Well, you put that a little piece around your reusable flosser that's 3D printed, because if you take the little disposable ones, well, you got to keep up with those in your trash bag and throw those
Mhm.
away every time. So if you don't want to carry that, then you can just use one of the little 3D printed ones. And that was the whole point and the whole tangent of where that tangent came from on the dentist.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I got one last item that I take with me on the trail.
Yeah, let's hear it.
That is, you're talking about hygiene. I'm gonna talk about grooming for a second, and this is not to plug a sponsor. But when it's cooler outside, I'll take these little outdoor beards tins with the beard balm in them.
Oh
So I
yeah,
can,
those are like the size of a quarter, maybe
yeah,
between a
they're
quarter and
tiny. They don't weigh much of anything. But man, you know as well as I do, bed beard on the trail is one of the most funky looking things you ever see in your life.
a half.
Like,
Yeah.
I've got a video from back in 2019. I think I was up in it was when we met Miyagi and Trips, and we were all staying up at the hammock hang
Yeah,
up in
Michigan.
Michigan. And I woke up the next morning, I videoed the whole end of my video, and as I'm editing it, I realized just how nappy my beard looked. Like, I woke up and it's like all flat on one side and the other side sticking out funny, and it just looked terrible. And I was like, man, I got to figure out something when I'm hiking so I don't look like a complete like jackwagon when I'm hiking around. You know what I mean? So I know it's not important to some people, and for the most part, I don't care what I smell like, but I don't want my beard sticking out like this on one side, like just completely sticking out from the side of my face on one side, and the other side be plastered up against my face. So
Yeah,
it's nice to
presentable
take
for
a little
the
something with me when I get out there.
yeah, those things in the summertime take the oil
Yeah, take the
because
oil because those things will melt and you got a mess inside your stuff.
yeah, but
So
whenever it's not gonna melt, those things work out perfect, man.
yeah, the big thing about today is like there's just be be creative with your gear. Sometimes you can take little things like pencil sharpeners or little 3D printed, things that you can take with you that are going to help you on the trail and not kill the weight of your pack and
Mhm.
your system. Uh, it's just fun sometimes just to create new things that you can take out. Both of us have tried pretty much anything that's been thrown our way, and some of the stuff's been really awesome, and some of the stuff has just kind of been like, "Nah, I'm good."
Yeah, and another really cool thing is whenever you bring unique pieces like that, they're great conversation starters. So if you're somebody that, um, maybe you're staying at a shelter or camping near other people and you're not great at that kind of thing, the conversation and getting to know people and all that,
Yep.
that right there is a catalyst for you to be able to talk to somebody if you want to. Now, a lot of
Yeah.
people don't. A lot of people want to just get out there by themselves. But if you're somebody that could use that as a tool, as a catalyst, then there you go. It's all present.
Well, and let's just be honest, especially when you're hiking with new people, you're always checking out their gear. What kind of
Oh, yeah.
tent are you using? What kind of sleeping bag? What kind of sleeping pad? If it's a hammock, what kind of hammock? What kind of underquilt? Like that's just stuff you talk about. It's fun. And when you've got these unique things, that
Mhm.
especially like the pencil sharpener helps everybody that's on the trip with you. You become everybody's favorite person because you're making the fire easier. Like things like that are just great for being on trail. So, just an encouragement. Don't be afraid to take things that most people don't understand or know why you would take it. If it works for you, take it, enjoy
Yeah,
it,
have fun.
have a great time on trail. So, for myself and Jeremiah, as always, it's great talking with you, my friend.
Oh, same to you, dude. That was fun.
Yes, sir. So, until next time, we'll catch you on the next one.
Yeah, adios, folks.